second part of the project, which is resource scheduling. So once the project is planned, we have to somehow be able to find people to do the tasks that we have planned for them to do. And there are a couple of ways, or at least 3 ways in project operations to go about it. First would be to just, like I have done it here. I just know, I happen to know that this person has enough time within this time range, that this task has to be done by this particular person. This is probably relevant for either smaller organizations or very stable long-term projects. This might be the case. If we are in a larger organizations, or we are more dynamic projects, or really many people to think of, or a complicated structure with resource managers, this might look a little bit different. And here is something that is very unique, I think, for project operations, and these are the generic resources. What this allows us to do is to define here on the right that I don't need Christian to make this task. I just need a person of a particular role. So let's say it's a sprint. Let's say we are still in programming. So I need a software engineer. I'm not saying who that might be. We have, let's say, 10 software engineers, and there is someone else in our organization who will decide which software engineer is going to fulfill this task. This, when we go into it, we'll not do it today, but we can define a role, but we also get to define skills that this person has to have. We might define maybe certificates that he has, or some approvals, let's say. There are a lot of ways to go about it, but in general, here the concept is that we don't know who will be doing this task. We just want to define that we need such person, and there will be someone else deciding who this person might be. And we will just we are about to see how this process looks like. So for the first case, when the Christian or no, let's make it differently. Here is on the left, you have the scheduling board. So under the list of the projects, we have the scheduling board. And what it shows us is a calendar, basically, with all the people that we have in our team. I have filtered them for our organization. And we are seeing what are they doing in which time range. So now it would make sense to, as we see, we have planned it for the end of January and beginning of February to add these people. So we have here the Christian. On the one hand, the Christian, so it would be good to add here his hours. On the other hand, we have a software developer that we have to find that would be able to fulfill our tasks. And let's begin with Christian. So as we see, we have planned him for 10 hours here, right? Yes, it's 10 hours, and we see in the resource reconciliation, we can break it down that in the from the 28th of January 2024, we have he's like underbooked by 10 hours. So what we can do is click here and click extend booking, and okay. What this will do, this will transfer these 10 hours to the scheduling board. Okay, there is interesting why. Okay, that's this shouldn't happen, although. So for some reason, there might be some rounding problem in the background. If it's below under 1 minute, this sometimes happens. But this might be also, I will see by the end of the presentation, this might be recalculated by Microsoft and probably reduced to 0. But it's a known, let's say, issue that sometimes it's if the Microsoft catches the difference under 1 minute, that there are some rounding problems. This shouldn't be reflected here though. If we refresh the page and we go to our demo schedule board that I have set up here, and let's go. Yeah, these are not our time ranges. Okay, yeah, exactly. So we see that for the week that we have, let's make it daily maybe. Here. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, because of I have planned Christian, the system wasn't able to really directly plan enough minutes, I guess, for each of the. That's why this 1 minute differentiate has occurred, but it's not, I guess it's not that important. The important thing is we are seeing now that for this week we have some tasks planned for Christian Hertz. Other people for other projects will be also seeing that he's busy already with this project. Okay, not that much, but they should consider it when creating time and creating bookings for him for another project. The other way, the second thing we have done is we have created a generic resource, as you can see here, for 20 hours for sprint 3. And what we can do now, marked. Okay, so what we can do is generate a requirement, and I will click it, and we'll just, we're about to see what's going to happen once the requirement is being created. So let's refresh it. Exactly, perfect. So what we are seeing here is the requirement we have just created. So how this would look like, normally people will work probably with a lot of the generic resources. We create a lot of requirements for them, and they will all appear here. And at the end of the week, let's say, the resource manager would look into all of them, and will try to allocate resources to these requirements that have been created. So what normally will happen is we'll click on find availability, and the system hopefully, will find us that Mark, the software developer, is actually available within the time range. We can also break down. Okay, he's working 8 hours here, so this is his capacity, how much he is working on these days. Here we are seeing that he is already working 4 hours within this week on some projects, so he has only 4 hours left. But here for the actually, that's interesting for us, is 22nd to 26. Okay, that's here. So it's actually, it should be enough that we are able to book him. So we can click book and exit. And exactly, and from 22nd, 26th, 6th of January, we see that we have now him planned for 4 hours for each day. By default, the system breaks down evenly on all the days if it's able, but this is also something you could set up. For example, if you want to pack in full in front, let's say, so that he has 8 hours, 8 hours, and 4 hours here, and then has, because we prefer that he works only on one project per day, something like this. That would be also possible. The last way, that it's actually how we are most often using it at Incubit, or not always, but from time to time at least, that we are just opening the scheduling board, clicking on, we are displaying all the resources, all the projects we are having, and we are trying to think, okay, probably this person will work 50% of the time on this project and 50% of this on this project. Then this is also possible that would just, if we have enough oversight to do it, or we have really long-term projects, or we don't want to think really or for each task, so we have tasks, but we don't want to focus, okay, this task will take this much, and this time this task this much. We just want to say, okay, this person works 50% of his time on this project, 50% of this time on this project. This would be also possible.